Peter, 15. Simon, a free man. Margaret Coven, a free woman. Sarah, 21, and her daughter.
Diana, age 7 months.
Hagar, 29, and her children.
Rhoda, age 14. Augustus, age 4. Mary, age 2.
The names behind me are just some of the names of the lost souls. We know of 180 free and enslaved African Americans who were deceived and stolen, sent to the Deep South by a corrupt county judge and a network of powerful white men and women. That network formed a slave ring which held captive the lost souls in the residence of that corrupt judge located in what is now East Brunswick, New Jersey, which is where the congregation is that I serve.
Jonas, 16, noted as a free person. Sam, 16. William, 22.
My name is Karen Johnston, and I am the settled minister at the Unitarian Society in East Brunswick, New Jersey. Thank you for spending your time learning more about the Lost Souls Public Memorial Project, a ministry of the Unitarian Society in community partnership with the New Brunswick branch of the NAACP and the New Jersey chapter of the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society. Throughout this video, you will see cameos of different people reciting some of the names of the lost souls. You'll also see a singing bowl as a chime. Each chime stands in for one of the lost souls we know to exist, but whose name we have not recovered. There are, to our knowledge, 39 of those. Thank you for spending the next 15 or so minutes learning about the lost souls. We hope you will become one of our supporters, spreading the word, bringing your financial resources to bear to make sure that this memorial becomes a reality. The Lost Souls Project actually starts at General Assembly in 2017 in New Orleans. I was at a workshop and a white minister asked this question. She said, "I'm white and my congregation is 100% white. What should we be doing to dismantle white supremacy culture?" And Aisha Hauser, who is currently the president-elect of LREDA, the Religious Educators Professional Organization, she responded, and her response was so wise. She said, if you're on this continent and you're in a space that's 100% white or nearly 100% white, it hasn't always been that way. Find out that story and start there. So I took that to heart. I came home. I already had an appointment scheduled with a local historian. I wanted to learn more about the area where I had just moved a year before. I thought I was going to learn about the indigenous peoples of this land, the Lenape, and I did. But what I learned about was a horrific history of a slave ring and of people being stolen into permanent slavery by being sent to the South, and of a street in the town where my congregation is named after this judge. And once I knew this, I could not unknow it. And once I told my congregation, they could not unknow it. And so we had a task before us, a responsibility. We knew where our story started and where we must take it.
Elijah, 31. Mary, 27. Law, 21.
My name is Peter Kahn. My wife and I joined the Unitarian Society here in East Brunswick in 1979. I am of Jewish background. Some time ago, we visited friends in Germany, and in Berlin, we visited a no longer used railway siding in the far western part of the city. More than 50,000 Jews were deported through this station, called Grunwald. A memorial named Platform 17 has been established at the rail siding, and you see it here. It records the dates of transports, the number of people they carried, and their destinations. The segments, about 4 feet long each, mark one shipment of Jews. They extend for a quarter of a mile on both sides of the track. In the summer of 2017, we visited Frankfurt to find the graves of Dr. Karl Kahn, a cousin of my grandfather, and his wife Jenny. Dr. Karl was a decorated veteran of the German Army in World War I and a prominent civic figure in Frankfurt. Nevertheless, the Nazis revoked his license to practice medicine. They took his house, and after a while they sent him a letter telling him the date on which he and his wife would be deported. Rather than go to a death camp, they committed suicide. On their gravestones is the inscription in Hebrew, "They liberated themselves in death." There are many of these stones in the cemetery. We came home to find that the Unitarian Society had learned of a road here in East Brunswick named after the corrupt judge who in 1818 organized the deportation of 180 plus people from New Jersey into slavery in the South. We wrote up a petition to the town council to rename the street. And in doing so, I realized that were the street to be renamed, the whole episode might again be forgotten as it was soon after it was exposed in 1818. The other side of our petition therefore proposed creation of a memorial to those who were stolen from this community. Thus arose the Lost Souls Public Memorial Project led by the Reverend Johnston. While any form of bigotry persists, I am not safe. None of us is free, while any of us are not.
Betty, 22. Patty, 22. Bass, 19. Christine, age 27, with her 2 children. Dinah, 9 years old. Dorcas, 1 year. Clarice.
One of the most egregious acts against New Jersey's Black population occurred in 1818. Government officials who held offices of public trust exploited a series of laws that were put in place to not only protect the rights of the enslaved, but also guarantee that their children would one day be free. One of the chief architects of the slave ring that took place in New Jersey was Judge Jacob Van Wickle. He served as a judge on the Court of Common Pleas in Middlesex County, and he was also a resident of present-day East Brunswick. He, along with his brother-in-law Charles Morgan, also a government official for the state of Louisiana, concocted a scheme to secure as many enslaved Blacks, or just Blacks period, as possible to man or till the grounds on Morgan's newly acquired plantation in Point Coupé, Louisiana, 121 Main Street in East Brunswick. Well, that's where his house sat. And that's where the enslaved people and the freed people and the kidnapped children would be brought to this home, where the judge and another judge, because the law required that two judges certify consent or examine the enslaved person's desire to leave the state. So this is where they would be brought, and the judge would ask them questions again to verify that they willingly want to leave the state to go work in the South, the deep South. What's interesting about that is that we had young children as young as 2 days old who the judge would take as assent or consent or affirmation a simple cry.
Rosanna, Claus, Anne with child Rosino, Jeanette,
Charles, Elias, Robert,
The Unitarian Society in East Brunswick, New Jersey is the fiscal agent for the Lost Souls Public Memorial Project. We're so proud that we won the 2019 Bennett Award, awarded by the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations. This year, 2020, we were highlighted in the New York Times Magazine as part of the 1619 Project. Dr. Anne C. Bailey, author of Weeping Times, wrote a powerful piece on unmarked slave auction sites.
So behind me you see a power substation, but in 1818 this is where the corrupt judge lived. His residence was here, the residence that he turned into a slave castle where he held captive the different boatloads of people that he then sent onto boats that sailed out of Perth Amboy down to Louisiana. This place, it says danger, and it was a dangerous thing. The first year that we held a recitation of the names of the lost souls, we knew of 85 names. We held it on a green nearby. And the only way we know how to reclaim and remember the whitewashed history is to recite the names of the lost souls to bring them back. Now we know of 180 lost souls, 141 names we know, and 39 we know exist, but we have not yet recovered their names. Each time we say their name, it is an act of liberatory memory. And ours is to continue to do that as a collective and to raise up and build a memorial to their memory, that this history never be forgot.
How can you join us? There's so many ways. Visit our website at lostsoulsmemorialnj.org. There you can learn more, share what you learn, and donate to our project. If you have skills or knowledge about what it takes to design a memorial and run a juried competition, we'd love it if you reached out to us. Also look for us on Facebook and share there widely. We'd love to have you join our collective acts of liberatory memory.
From the Lost Souls Public Memorial Steering Committee, we say,
Thank you.
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 Join us, and thank you.
Thank you.